Today, we are going to talk about the Central Group and displaying personalized e-commerce. And as always, we're going to quickly walk through some housekeeping and our agenda, and then we're going to make some introductions. So again, welcome everyone. From a housekeeping perspective, I already had this question come in the Q&A bubble. Are we going to be recording this and will it be available afterwards? Yes, absolutely. We will be recording. Those who signed up for the webinar will receive a link to this with a video following this webinar, and we will also be publishing this on Znode's YouTube channel. All of the other previous webinars from this year and previous customer stories are also available on Znode's YouTube channel. During the webinar, if there are any questions, there is a Q&A bubble available in the Zoom controls. Please feel free to drop in questions. We will try and hold all the questions to the end. However, it's very relevant in the moment. We may also entertain answering the question in the moment. And as you can see, our agenda for today, housekeeping, which we just went through, quick introductions. Then we're going to talk about the story. We're going to talk about the Central Group and the story of their business and why Znode. Wrap up with Q&A. And if we have time, we're going to get personal and do a quick lightning round and talk about what's going on personally with Drew Eastwood, our guest. And with that, let's jump into introductions. Drew, welcome. Do you want to give a quick introduction to who you are and your role at the Central Group?
Sure. Yeah, great to be here. Thanks, Tom, for having us. Hello, everybody on this call today. My name is Drew Eastwood. I'm the e-commerce business manager at the Central Group, leading a new division called Central Pack, which we just launched about 4 months ago. So yeah, I lead the e-commerce division, and I'm also a part of the sales team.
Nice. And Drew, you are headquartered, and Central Group is headquartered near Toronto, Canada, correct?
That's correct. We have 4 facilities across Toronto, a few in the US as well. About 50% of our business today is Canadian-based, 50% stateside.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, welcome, Drew. We're excited to have you speak with us today. And welcome, everybody. My name is Tom Fleury. I am the Chief Commercial Officer at Amla Commerce, the parent company of Znode, the product we're going to talk about today, and Artify, which is another one of our products in our suite. And so let's jump in. We have a very kind of a rinse and repeat format to these webinars. And Drew, the first question, tell us about the Central Group.
Sure. So Central Group has been in business for 43 years. We specialize in point of purchase, retail display solutions, and packaging. We work with large consumer packaged good brands like Mars Wrigley, Kraft Heinz, Coca-Cola, Celsius, Nutrabolt, C4, Anheuser-Busch, etc. The list goes on. We've had the idea to build an e-commerce solution for quite some time now, and reason being is the Central Group today, our business model, we're a direct manufacturer, by the way, vertically integrated company, creating our own raw material, our own corrugate, and then we print on that corrugate, die cut that, etc., and have an in-house co-packing facility. But we've done a really good job of taking care of some of those big brands, like I just mentioned, with really large volume and large quantity projects and orders. But there's been a huge gap in the marketplace to support emerging brands for lower volume business. And really, we haven't been able to take care of those brands in the past. And really, a big reason for that is the manufacturing capabilities. In the last decade or so, with new manufacturing, digital printers, digital die cutters, we can now do really low volume display runs and eliminate a lot of those upfront expensive tooling and steel rolled die costs. So we've invested about $10 million over the last few years into digital equipment. And with that, we wanted to build Central Pack to support those emerging brands on lower volume display and packaging runs. And what we've done is really create stock solutions, as you can see here, for thousands of customizable displays and packaging. So really it's speeding up the product development time, as we've created a catalog essentially of small, medium, and large displays in every kind of style you can think of in the point of purchase world. And Central Pack has kind of 2 different ways that you can utilize it. Displays, for those of you that do not know, there's a lot of complexity behind displays, and you really need a handhold with the sales rep to identify the right display vehicle for your customer and for your product. So it is more of a catalog and request to quote, But then the packaging is fully configurable, full e-commerce solution where the customer can actually go on there. They can configure their package style. They can choose their dimension. They can choose the style, and then they can go into a 3D configurator where we've utilized Artify, where they can actually upload their graphics and their fonts, etc., and check out without any hand holding at all. So again, the premise, Central Group, we've really done a good job taking care of the big guys, and Central Pack is catered towards supporting more emerging brands, small to mid-tier businesses.
That's great. And again, you said a direct manufacturer. So your go-to-market strategy, though, Drew, is you do not work through distributors. Everything is directly with your sales force, correct?
That's correct. We work directly with brand.
Okay, got it. Great. And tell us a little bit, why Znode? What brought you to the Znode platform, and why did you choose it?
Yeah, so this wasn't a platforming for us. This was our first time to get into, building an e-commerce division. So we went through, a lengthy process to identify the right platform for us. And Znode ended up being the right partner based on a bunch of different reasons. A lot of the out of the box functionality, out of the box PIM was huge for us, as we had to create our PIM from scratch, as everything in our business today we do is custom. And the Artify component was huge as well, because we have the online configurator. So we wanted to find a partner and a solution that could do, the traditional B2B e-commerce solutions, but then also have the configurator built into that same platform and not have to go down a third party. And then another piece is the multiple storefronts with the license that we have today, because we work with some of our customers and create custom web stores for them that are just their private logins for those customers, where they give their logins to their sales reps. They can go on to our custom storefront that we built for them, and then they can order as many displays as they like. So good for, large businesses opportunities, and also for franchise models.
That's awesome. Well, it makes sense too. As you go through digital transformation, you're probably going to stand up more and more unique experiences by customer as you move them on to adopting the platform. And for those of you who may not know it, we talked about it in the introductions, but Artify is a sister company of Znode that allows for online product personalization and product customization. And that is what Drew was referring to. So for today's webinar, in preparing for this, Drew and I talked, and we thought it'd be easier to actually walk through a little bit more of why Znode in the application rather than do a demo. And so we have screenshots we're going to share today. And Drew, I'm going to go to the next slide, and I think you can actually you can continue on with the story of the journey on Znode here.
Yeah, for sure. So you can go to the next one. So this is just a quick look at some of our offerings. There's some great companies doing a good job of offering, online configurable packaging, but there's really nobody offering a range of point of purchase retail merchandising tools. So we have over 500 employees in-house, 60 plus designers. So one of the largest design agencies in our space in North America, if not the biggest. And we pride ourselves on innovation. As you can see, the Kangaroo self-rising displays, Correlate, the Connect, those are all patented solutions that we've created, all out of paper-based materials. So everything we do has a sustainability story behind it. But yeah, this is just a quick look at some of our product offerings. You can go to the next slide. So I'm going to take you through two different processes. Like I mentioned earlier, there's two ways that you can utilize Central Pack. One is the retail displays, more of a handhold request a quote. And then the other one is a fully automated e-commerce solution with the packaging. So you can go to the next one, Tom. So if you're looking for a display, you would go through the catalog of displays and find one that you think could be a good fit for your product. Once you do that, you click the view details, and then you go into requesting a quote, where you enter in as much information as you want. And the more that we get, the better. Things like product dimensions, weight, URL of your product, etc. You can go to the next one, Tom. And then that would get sent to us, and we would get that information, and then we'd get in touch with the client, ensure that we have the right display vehicle for them, identify the volume, the quantity of units that they require, and then we'd send them a quote, and then they can check out. So it's a little bit of a mix between old school analog and e-commerce, you still have that handhold because we are selling, large volumes still on this platform. Even if it's 100 units, as you can see, it can still run you, $16,000. So it's not a small purchase, but you can still have an e-commerce checkout experience, which is really cool. And anything that's larger, we can obviously set up with terms. But this is also something different that we haven't been able to do in the past. We always have terms set up. We never do upfront payment. So this is a great way that we can get paid for our work before we've actually started the manufacturing. So that's the display process. And if we keep going, Tom, we can go through the packaging. So the packaging is pretty neat. As you can see on the right-hand side, you can choose your size. You can choose whether you want it blank or customizable in different materials. And then you can choose your quantity as well. So once you've chosen your size, your material, and your quantity, you can then click customize, which will take us to the next slide, Tom. And then you can choose all of your locations on the left-hand side. You can choose your graphics, layout, your text, your colors, etc. And you can upload whatever creative that you have, or just, if you want to go simple and just add logos, you can do that like you can see here. And it's real-time upload. You have a 3D render on the left-hand side. You can expand that. You can spin it around. You can open and close it. So a really neat way and a really, really easy way for non-designers to be able to design online. There's other solutions out there where you have to utilize die lines and complex tools. So this is really just dumbing it down essentially and making it really, really easy for the user to be able to create custom packaging online quickly, efficiently, with real-time pricing, and as easy as, pressing the add to cart, which is cut out of this. And then you check out as you would shopping at Amazon. So you can go to the next one, Tom.
You bet.
Yeah, so just like you're saying here, you check out and you're off to the races. So those are kind of the two different ways of going about it. Obviously, like I said, there's a range of different SKUs on here, a few thousand different SKUs, and growing every day. And the goal is to upload a few displays as well to this configurator, a few really standardized basic displays that we feel comfortable uploading to this. But there's a lot of complexity behind it. So we're still learning. We're only 4 months in. So we're having lots of orders coming through, which is amazing. It's been a really good start. But still, lots to learn and lots to grow and see what we want to do with the future of the site.
That's great. This is such a great story, Drew. And for those of you who are attending the webinar here, or maybe you're viewing a recording of it, the area in the customization of the boxes that was just shared a couple of slides back, that is all Artify actually rendering the customization on top of Znode in this case, and then integrating the actual order down to the shopping cart and back into the e-commerce platform. So also a great customer experience. And also the great use of like two different customer types: customers that need RFQ functionality and they want to quote, versus those that are going to customize and buy on the spot. Do you have any data, Drew, on which is getting used more? Because RFQ is so common it's a common feature in B2B, but do you know which is where you're having more conversion rates?
Displays for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, displays, absolutely. And the other thing with Central Pack too, like I said earlier at the start of this presentation was, Central Group does a great job of taking care of the big guys. And one of the thoughts behind Central Pack as well is, okay, we now have an e-commerce solution. We can now do, digital marketing, and we're going to have some big fish swim past Central Pack, which are going to reach out to us. Me or another sales rep is going to get on a call and identify that, hey, this is, an Anheuser-Busch or whoever it may be that are ordering, tens of thousands of displays. And that's also still a huge win. This is essentially, a B2B lead gen magnet for low volume business, but also the big CPGs or big brands that we can take care of with our other manufacturing capabilities. And that now funnels out of Central Pack and into Central Group, which is, still a huge win. So you can look at utilizing this solution for many different avenues.
Yeah, that's great. We attend trade shows and we talk with manufacturers, and I think a lot of manufacturers think of e-commerce as a distributor portal where distributors can log in, order in bulk, and they certainly serve dealers. what's great about this story is that you have a direct sales force as well. But even if Central Pack didn't have a direct sales force, exposing a catalog online and doing digital marketing to grow your overall footprint in North America is brilliant. Like, I think that's a great lesson for manufacturers in general, is e-commerce isn't just about channel enablement for manufacturers, which it is, but it's not just about that. It's also about exposing the catalog, performing digital marketing for the sake of growing the overall company. And if you sell through dealers, they get new accounts as well. Or if you sell direct, you get the direct business as well. So I think it's a great example for how manufacturers can expand using e-commerce.
Absolutely. Yeah, for sure. Yeah, the online catalog, like you said, being a direct manufacturer, it's playing a huge role in getting, those smaller guys, but also having some big fish swim across it too, that maybe we wouldn't have been able to get in contact with in the past.
Absolutely. So, Drew, we always say, well, what's next? What's on the digital roadmap, or what are you going to do next online? And as you're answering that, I have there's a question in the Q&A bubble, and I'm actually going to answer the question live. If for those of you who want to check the Q&A bubble, as you can, just for the sake of time, if you want to talk about what's coming next.
Sure. Yeah. So what's next is, like I said, we're only about 4 or 5 months into this, so still brand new, and trying to build as much revenue as possible and get as much learnings as possible to see what we need to do next. But one of the big ones is ERP integration. We're working off a legacy system right now, so looking at updating our ERP, which is in the works right now. So hopefully in the next 6 months or so, we can look at integrating that system. I would love to add a few display items to the configurator and play around with that, see what kind of attention that grabs. Further adoption with the sales team, obviously, that's a big one when implementing a new e-commerce solution, is getting the sales team to start utilizing it as a tool. Because essentially, Central Pack was designed to further optimize our business workflows and processes today and streamline a lot of those things that sometimes can take a long time. Now, Central Pack, we can speed those up. So further adoption with the sales team, which we are seeing, but would like to continue that up. And then stand up some custom stores for some of our customers today through the Central Pack platform. Those are probably the big ones right now.
Nice. All right. And then we have another question. Hi, Drew. You made this as intuitive as possible for the user, which is great. In doing so, where did you find the most challenge in execution of creating this? Was it people-oriented, business process, or technology? Any one item that comes to mind, and how did you overcome it? Well, that's a tough one.
That's a great question. I would say, the technology and the physical aspect of actually creating all of these different SKUs for the packaging was a huge hurdle, because every single SKU we have in here for packaging, like this RSC box, for instance, we have 30 different sizes with 4 different materials and X amount of quantities. So the amount of SKUs we had to create for that one SKU was huge. And then to test every single one to make sure it's working properly, that was like, I don't know, that was close to a year in the making in itself, back and forth with the Artify team. We were working with David as our lead from Artify, and he was amazing. We were having daily communication with him, but I can tell you my design team was really excited to get this wrapped up. It was an exciting journey, but it was tough for sure. That was the biggest hurdle.
Some great question and great answer. Thanks, Drew. And then we have one more question here. Since Znode isn't integrated with your ERP yet, are you just receiving orders RFQ from the system to email and processing them into your ERP after the fact?
Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what we're doing. Okay. We're kind of utilizing almost the Znode backend as an ERP right now for some orders, because some things have to go through the ERP, like the packaging, but the actual displays, we found out a way to kind of fast track it. So it's a little bit of mix between utilizing Znode as kind of an implementation process for the time being, and then we put a couple pieces that we need into the ERP, just enough to push it through.
Nice. Okay. So Drew, first of all, great job today. We typically don't have a lot of questions in the Q&A bubble. So obviously you're sharing a lot of great information, a lot of interest in this. We always try and wrap this up within 30 minutes. So we have 6 minutes left, which means we have time for lightning round. Drew, my understanding is even though you currently live in Canada, you did spend some time growing up in Australia and you love water. What do you like to do in your free time?
I do. I'm a water baby for sure. I also grew up in British Columbia, outside of Vancouver. So love the mountains. You know, anything outdoorsy. I love surfing. I love. Recently, I've gone into wing foiling, which is on a hydrofoil. That's really fun. You can do that either in we have Great Lakes, you know, north of Toronto. So I do that. You know, like I said, surfing or wake surfing, either behind a boat or on the ocean, is even better. Biking, skiing, snowboarding, etc. You name it, anything adrenaline, outdoorsy, count me in.
Nice. Okay, one last question. Favorite ski resort?
Well, Whistler, because that's where I grew up.
That's one I haven't been to yet. That's on my list.
It's actually it's where I grew up, and I haven't really been to a lot of the other ski resorts because that's my home resort. So it's hard to leave.
Nice. Awesome. Well, thank you for sharing that on the personal front, and thank you so much for participating and sharing the Central Group story today. With that, again, from a housekeeping perspective, we have answered all of the questions in the Q&A bubble. This is being recorded. You can look for it on Znode's YouTube channel. And thanks again, everybody, for attending today. Have a great afternoon. And Drew, thank you so much.